subtracting linear expressions. Now, yesterday we took some time and already talked about adding linear expressions, and we talked about really the key was setting it up that we combine like terms. So let's jump past that and kind of jump past a couple of these, and let's take a look at starting with that little review. So when we talked about yesterday, we said we were going to connect our two terms that are alike. 3x's can be combined with x's, so we can rewrite it saying 3x plus 3x is equal to 6x. And we can come over here and do the same thing with 6. And we said now we're not looking at it as 5, but as negative 5. So it becomes 6 plus a negative 5, which ends up with a positive 1. So I end up with 6x plus 1. We switch colors to make this a little easier for you guys to see. So and do the same thing here. Negative 2x plus 3x is x. 3, positive 3 plus positive 3 is 6. All right, and finally, take a minute, pause the video, and just try this next problem on your own. All right, so you guys hopefully got negative 3x minus 10, okay? Remember, we don't want to write 3x plus a negative 10. It's too much work, so we're going to switch and say, okay, instead of saying plus, we're just going to understand it's negative 10, okay? All right, so let's take a look at subtracting linear expressions. There's a couple ways to do it. One of the easiest ways to look at it is to come over, I'm going to get rid of these real quick, is to come and do very similar to the same thing we did on our first one. We're going to add these, we're going to subtract these two. So we're going to say 6x minus 2x. So we're going to combine these. So 6 minus 2x is 4x. Do the same thing with these, positive 3 and a positive 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and it's a positive 1. So we're going to say plus 1. That's my first way to subtract it. Taking a look again, maybe looking at this problem, a little more challenging. This time I'm going to have negative numbers to work with. Let's keep following the same idea. Easiest way is to take it and look at it and go, okay, 2x and x. So 2x minus x. That together is just x, 1. And the next one comes a little more challenging. Now it's negative 3 and negative 2. So I have negative 3 minus, here in the middle, negative 2. Now here I've got two negatives in a row, so I've got to keep in mind negative 3 minus a negative is the same as addition. So we're going to use our keep change up and go, okay, it becomes negative 3 plus 2, so it ends up being negative 1 is my answer. All right, let's try a few more. And I'm going to have you try a few. So let's take a look at another way we might be able to do this. Another way to think of this is thinking, okay, really what I have here is a negative 1 sitting out here. I've got a sign, so that's really, we're going to think this is negative 1. So we're going to use my distributive property and go, oh, I can do my keep change op now. Say, okay, I keep my first term, negative 2x minus 4. Now we're going to go back to plus. What is the opposite of 2x? Negative 2x. Now I've got the same problem I had on our first lesson. Negative 2 and negative 2 is negative 4x. There's nothing to combine with negative 4, so it just becomes negative 4. Okay? All right, let's try that method one more time, this time with two terms. So let's follow my same idea. We're going to use my keep change op. So I'm going to keep 6x plus 5. I'm going to change it to addition. And I'm going to take the opposite of each of these terms. So this becomes the opposite of 3x is negative 3x. The opposite of positive 1 is negative 1. Now I'm going to add them. 6x and negative 3 is 3x. 5 and negative 1 is positive 4. Okay, you can do it either of these two ways, doing your additive inverse or keeping in mind and doing it the other way where you put like terms together with subtraction. They end up both doing the exact same method. All right, go ahead and pause the video and give this problem a try. All right, let's take a look at it. So negative 4x minus negative 5. So I'm going to have negative 4x minus negative 5x. That's going to turn to a positive, so I'm going to be left with x. Negative 7 minus negative 2 makes it positive, so I'm left with a negative 5. There's my final answer. If I did my keep change up, it would be the same idea. Negative 4x minus 7 plus the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. And I can put it all together the same way and end up with the exact same answer. Either way is fine with me to work on. If I had a word problem, I can do the very same thing. I come over here and I find the pieces I need, 6m plus 3 minus 5m minus 2. I could do my keep change up, or I could put it together. 6 minus 5 is m. 3 minus a negative 2 is a positive 5. So now the last thing is, what if m is equal to 10? Well, I could plug in and go using a new property we've never really talked about. It's called the substitution property, and find out that there are 15 different hats in between the two types of sports teams' hats. All right, that gives us everything we need to think about. Okay. All right. If you guys have questions, please feel free to reach out and ask me. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do this one beforehand, and then you can start and check and see how you did. So we end up with negative 5x plus 2. All right. If you're stuck, please come see me. I'd be happy to help you. Have a great day.